Welcome to Plato's Academy. I'm Nick Plato,
I'm Alex Plato.
and what we're trying to do here is inspire a life of the mind so that we can think higher thoughts about the good, the true, and the beautiful.
Preach it, bro.
So if you like it,
Subscribe
or share,
or all the above.
All
All
the
the time.
welcome back to Plato's Academy, Twinstitution. We're going to talk today about liberals and conservatives in general. I'm trying to keep
The
it
only
in
two
general.
types of people in the universe.
The only two types of people in the
Yep.
universe.
Yep.
Okay. And we're going to ask the question, a lot of people have asked this about GKC, but I'm going to ask it about you because you've been accused of
Yep.
being a socialist
Yes. To my face.
to
Yeah.
your face and a liberal. And so let's just set the record straight.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to ask you, are you a socialist?
Yeah. I am not a socialist.
Okay.
Right. I believe in Catholic social teaching, and I've committed my life to that. And I've taken the mandatum, the oath, right, of fidelity to the magisterium as a professor at Franciscan University.
Okay.
So no, I do not. I do not believe in socialism. I think it's wrong. I think the Catholic Church clearly condemns it. So no, not a socialist.
So since you're not a socialist,
That means I'm a capitalist.
you
'Cause that's
must
yeah.
be a capitalist.
Yes, so I'm a capitalist too.
Okay. All right.
No, and I think I'm with Catholic social teaching there, right, which roundly has condemned capitalism in various forms throughout the history of it, right? And so then when people are defending capitalism, they have to mean something different than what the Catholic Church was condemning, which is fine,
Yeah. Like
Right.
property.
right? Something like certain values. There's certain values that capitalists would like, I could share. Right? I think entrepreneurship's good. I think creativity's good.
Ownership's
right?
good.
I think ownership's
Innovation's good.
Yep. I think all that's great. Yep.
Yeah. And
So
private property is good.
if
So
they
you
want to
don't-
if they
so
want to
you-
call me a capitalist for that, they can, but I don't want to accept the title.
Okay. All right. So now, let's now that we've got that cleared up. Okay. Liberal and conservative. So
Yesterday's liberals are today's conservatives, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yesterday's conservatives, after liberals have fouled it up, are today's liberals trying to free themselves from what the liberals back then have now trying to conserve now, right? So conservative has to do with what are you trying to conserve?
Yeah.
Liberal, what are you trying to free yourself from? Right? So different times it's going to be different. So GK at different points in his career said one time he said he's a liberal, one time he said he's a conservative. So
Yeah.
obviously the things that typical conservatives that I really appreciate are the traditionalist conservatives, sometimes they're called. Russell Kirk, Roger Scruton, right? Edmund Burke, like this sort of a tradition, like Wendell Berry, where there's this sort of the family, religion, a hierarchical view of the world, right? A value on agrarian life, simple life, right? Those sorts of values that we're trying to conserve. I'm that kind of conservative, right? I think that's crucial.
Yeah.
But like Roger Scruton once said, the heart of conservatism, as he understands it, as the post Edmund Burke phenomenon, right? Post French Revolution, is a lover of authority. So authority is part of the very nature and fabric of this world because God is Father, right? And then you have this whole hierarchy of being. And so within that hierarchy of being, there's subsidiarity relationships and all that goes this and create the correct order. And so a conservative wants to conserve that, which means reality. I want to conserve reality as a hierarchical, authoritative, cosmic justice sort of picture, right? That I've been taught by the Catholic Church and the tradition of Western philosophy. So I want to conserve that. So I'm a conservative in that regard.
Yeah. So if somebody said, so the questions are, are you liberal? Are you conservative? And I want to know if I'm a liberal or I'm a conservative. How would I know if I'm a liberal or I'm a conservative?
Yes.
Because we need those two labels. Those are the only two labels
Yeah.
that are meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. So I love the liberal arts, right? I'm a teacher of the liberal arts. You're a teacher of the liberal arts, right? The liberal arts are opposed to the servile arts. Not that the servile arts are like slavish or bad, right? But they're arts that are made for the comfort of our body, our our bodily security, right? They're the sort of economic goods we normally think of. Whereas liberal arts are contemplative arts, arts and things that we can learn by contemplation. And so those are arts that free our minds from prejudice, free our minds from confirmation bias, free our minds from parochial, thoughts, right, that are limited and closed-minded. So that's all. I'm a fan of that. I'm a liberal in that sense. But when we talk about liberal in a political spectrum, I think we've got basically two varieties now. And it's funny that those on the right-wing perspective in our country, right, are called conservative usually, but those conservatives actually have a liberalism. They tend to align with John Locke and classical liberalism. So they're liberals of that variety, right? Let's call them, just for fun, libertarians, right? And then on the left-hand side, we have what are called in political thought neoliberals, right? Progressives and all that. Now it's like even go crazier with wokeism and whatever, right? Let's just call those liberals. So we've got liberals on the left and libertarians on the right. And so to me, it's that spectrum that I want to get off, which means I want to throw liberalism out. That means I'm interested in post-liberalism, what comes after this in political. Now, in a certain way, I'm interested in pre-liberalism, which is like the kind of values and way of thinking in the Catholic Church before it changed.
Right.
But I don't want to go back then. I want to learn the lessons from this whole liberal period and find something even better. Let's call that a post-liberal Catholicism.
So, I mean, going back to that, obviously you're thinking of liberalism is, give me a time frame. Liberalism is from this time to this time.
Thomas Hobbes to now, continuing, still going.
So Thomas Hobbes, give a date.
Like 1650.
Okay. So you got like 1650 to
A little
20,
bit before that, but yeah, go.
I'm
Yep.
just estimating. So 1600, 1600
That's roughly there. Yep.
to 2000. So we have 400 years of liberalism.
Yes, and the order that's been created socially is called the liberal order, or what we've talked about before, the modern state.
Okay. The modern state is the liberal order,
Yes, the lived liberal order.
and the liberal order is liberalism.
Yeah, the lived phenomenon of liberalism.
Liberalism is the philosophy and political philosophy and philosophy behind that is the foundation
The word
of the liberal
liberalism,
order.
I want to say
no. Let me get it straight. Is that right? Liberalism is the founding ideas of the liberal state.
Liberalism actually refers to both of those, which is what's complicated. So like D.C. Schindler wrote a great essay for New Polity, right? It said, what is liberalism? Right? And he says, well, liberalism, and he says, basically liberalism refers to two things. It refers to the lived phenomenon, right, of the liberal order that's on the ground. That's the result of ideas and things kind of in a messy way happening, right? But on the other hand, it's also the political theory behind that, right? And so it refers to both of those things. So when we say we're interested in being post-liberals, say at New Polity we say that, we mean both. We want an order that comes after this order, and we want to reject that political philosophy, both, right? And so what DC talks about is that there's liberalism. What is liberalism? And we can describe it, the lived phenomenon. We can describe the sort of political theory. But what he wants to get at is there's a metaphysical story and a theological story behind that political theory and liberal order. And that's what we're trying to recover, right? The understanding of at New Polity.
Okay, so all that being said to me is, for most lay people out there, it's like, okay, that's great. That's academics kind of talking about theological, metaphysical. What you're just talking about is all the values and stuff that people thought about God and nature and man that was before the stuff that the liberals think or talked about God and nature and man. That's
The
liberal
whole new
stuff.
worldview.
Liberal stuff, God, nature, man. Pre-liberal stuff, God, nature, man. Post-liberals want to take this stuff and apply it to our modern life.